and thanks for tuning into the Financial Investor channel. My name is Brent, and today we're going to be covering the Merrill Edge application. Now, as you know, I have transitioned from Robinhood over to Merrill Edge. One of the many reasons was because they have a web platform where I can do my trading at my desk, where I'm at work, or on the go, and I don't always need to have my phone or emulator running on a computer in order to be able to have access to trade. And then this Merrill Edge also has a trading application, which is very nice in comparison to what Robinhood has. So I'm going to be covering some of what Merrill Edge's application has and then kind of showcasing that here. So as you log on, you will go straight to your dashboard where you'll see your portfolio summary, and you can see your total portfolio value and how it's changed for today. So Tuesday I actually took a loss of 0.2%, so a bit of a loss there. You'll see your total equity, 99.9% equity, and how much cash you have in your account. So I have 0.07. If I slide to the right, it gives me a nice historical total value graph, but as I just moved into Merrill Edge in October, the information here is not provided. And of course, if I do click on more details, this goes into my account holdings, which we'll talk about here in just a minute. So, talking back on the dashboard, we do have our top holdings by market value. So, my highest market value account that I'm currently invested in is Paychex and Pfizer, followed behind by Colgate, Lowe's, and Realty Delaware. And you can see that Paychex is 4,200 and Pfizer's a little over 4,000. So if you slide it to the right, there's three options here. You can see these are your top holdings by market value. If you slide to the right, you can see your top holdings by gains for the day. So AbbVie, Ford, Verizon, Pfizer, EPR, they had very nice days. Whereas if I slide again to the right, you'll see I had my top losses for the day. So CenturyLink, Pepsi, Colgate, Paychex, and ADP took a bit of a loss today. Now I can click View All, and that'll just go over to my holdings again, which we'll get to that here in just a minute. And then as I move down, you can see order status if I have any open orders, but I currently do not. We can see that the market is currently closed. You can view the global markets. So you can see the Americas market, or you can see other markets in Europe, Middle East, Asia, and Pacific. And then you can see this just kind of gives you a snippet of the US markets with the Brazil and Canada. And then it talks a little about the indexes here. You can look at market movers for the day. Very nice and detailed. You know, Robinhood only gives you a little bit of information. You log into it, you have access to your account, you have access to what stocks you're currently invested in, and you have your watch list. You don't have information such as market movers across all indexes. You can specify it, the New York Stock Exchange, the NASDAQ, the Amex. You can click on different dates there maybe, I'm not sure. Okay, so it just kind of expands it out. So there is a lot of information here. And they do have a drop down menu here, so you can actually adjust it not only by active by volume, but most up in value, most down in value, new highs, new lows. So if you want to look for value stocks, you could check out new lows, and so on. They also do have news, so you could look up specific ticker symbol news. So let's look up Johnson & Johnson here. J, it doesn't type in here. So I am on the emulator. Oh, there it goes. J and J, and it looks up information pertaining to that. So that just kind of jumped over to quotes. So that may need a little bit of work there. They have different reports that came out for different companies. So this isn't really related to your companies. This is just kind of general information. You have sectors, how they've done for the month, 3 month, 6 months, and 1 year. You can see that financials is actually leading by about 3% on information technology. So that is very interesting information that Robinhood does not provide. It also has heat maps. You can look at the market. and we can look at the Dow Jones, or you can select other indexes here, such as the S&P 500. So I do like the Dow Jones. I like to compare my portfolio to the Dow Jones and the S&P 500. So you can see for the month, you can see for the 6 months, and so on. So that is their research area here. So you can do quite a bit of information. Once you get the hang of it on their application, you can do quite a bit of research on there that is not able to be done on the Robinhood platform. And then if you find that you don't need the market movers available on the front screen, you can always customize your dashboard, and you can uncheck the market movers, and on your actual device you can select these and kind of drag them around. So I would actually like to look at the US markets first, and then my portfolio summary, my holdings, and my order statuses last. And there we are. So next, if we were to click on accounts, it would just show what accounts we have created inside of our Merrill Edge account. Right now I do have my non-retirement account, and then I do have my 401k sort of linked within there, and I currently do not hold a non-retirement, or I don't hold a retirement account with any funds right now. So right now you can see that if I go over to the trade, I have the option of trading stocks and ETFs, options, or mutual funds, and then I can select my account that I would like to buy into. So if I do have $40 on hand, I can choose to buy a stock for my retirement Roth IRA, and then I can select buy, type in a symbol. So one symbol that I recently researched was Apple, but if I want to buy a share of Cisco, excuse me, hiccuped, I could select Cisco here, and I could select a buy. I can see that its bid size is $33.41. Its asking is $33.69. So I think I will actually bid at a lower. I'm surprised they don't have some sort of a graph here. That would be really nice to see. So I know on the Market Pro, when you're buying a stock, you can do quite a bit more research. So if I have the option, if I am on a computer, I will always choose to use the Market Pro platform to buy and sell, because that provides me with a much broader amount of information. So here we can see that the day range was 33.46. So if I wanted to, I could probably estimate that I can go as low as 33.41. So I'm actually going to change it to a limit, and my quantity is 1. My limit price is $33.41, and then I could select my duration, which is the day. And if I wanted to buy all or none, if 200 shares or more, I could turn that on, and then I could click continue, and let's see what would happen here. So the order executed exceeds the maximum trade value for this account. So I actually don't have the funds available right now in my account to purchase a Cisco share. So that's what kind of happened there. So if I choose my non-retirement account, I do actually have $40.72. So I could actually buy a share of Cisco there, but I'm not going to go ahead and do that right now. There's other stocks that are currently down that I would like to average down and increase my equity in. So they do have extended hours, so I do wish to trade my regular hours. And here I can go into the extended hours trading, and it's currently closed, but orders can be placed Monday through Friday, and pre-market hours are 7:30 through 9:30 a.m. After hour market hours are 4:01 p.m. through 8 p.m. So they do have 4 hours of after hour market hours in comparison to Robinhood's 2 hours, I believe. And then this is actually just free with my account. I don't have to purchase anything to have access to the extended hours. I could also trade options in here, but you have to access it from your website first. You have to go into your options and agree that options are risky, and you have to sign a risk disclosure is kind of what you have to do. And then you do have mutual funds that you can purchase here, but I am not interested in any sort of mutual funds. So that is the trade option. See, we could also do a quote, and this is basically just looking up a quote of a stock, and we did that before when we searched for a stock here. We got the quote of it. This goes a little bit more. We can see the graph now. So if we look at the year, and we could view the option chain on it, but this just shows you the strikes and such, so not too worried about that. Let's go back here. So I was looking at the month, and let's see, what kind of graphs do they show? So they have their bid, their ask, their open, their previous close. So you can see that this one, the candlestick would be green today because they previously closed at 136. They opened at 137, so they actually had an increase. They have quite a bit of information here. They have their annual dividend, $3.36 per share. Their dividend yield, 2.39%. Their next ex-dividend date is August 25th, which already passed, so you can just add 3 months onto that. So that would be November 25th would be their next ex-dividend date. Oh, it actually shows there. Dividend X date, next dividend X date. It's interesting that their dividend X date was just in August and they have a next X dividend in September. Let's see here. Earnings per share for quarter 3 grew by negative 10.36% to $1.37. So they actually lost a little bit there. Their revenue grew by 10.27%. Johnson & Johnson, so this was quarter 3. Okay, so it still was quarter 3. $1.90 per share. And let's see, Merrill Lynch Global Research released a new report for Johnson & Johnson. So that's nice. You get a lot of information on Merrill Edge. You know, Merrill Edge releases all sorts of research, and I'm going to show you here in just a minute that every stock that you're invested in, you can get a lot of this information really easy for it. So Johnson & Johnson price reached a new high, a new 52-week high of 140.82 cents as of 10/17/2017. So today it hit a new 52-week high. And this information, okay, so the news here is actually relevant to this specific ticker symbol. Actually, this one is not. You can see here that the ticker symbols pertaining to the specific article, Johnson & Johnson, is located here. And then they have ratings. It's currently rated a hold by Morningstar and a buy by CFRA. It has many available reports from Morningstar, CFRA, and another Morningstar. You can see that their earnings per share for each quarter in 2014, 15, 16, 17, what they're estimated for the future for the next 2 years. So that's actually really interesting. A little bit about Johnson & Johnson and their peers. So that is what you can find out when you look into a specific stock. Now I would actually like to see if I rotate this, do I get a better graph? Okay, so if I rotate it, you can see I do get a bit of a better graph here. So let's go to 1 month and let's see if I can zoom out somehow. Am I zoomed? I think I'm on the Android emulator, and I may be too zoomed in right now. But if you view it from the side here, you can actually see the volume per day of what was traded, and if the stock ended in the negative or positive the day of. So I'm not going to mess too much with that. I'm going to go ahead and flip it back, and then we're going to go back to the dashboard. We can look up quotes, which we've done. There is a more, so you can explore heat maps, you can customize your dashboard, you can see your holdings, your transfers, pay bills, check deposit, order status, research watch list, guidance retirement, so just a bunch of other additional random information. Now, one thing here from I'm just going to go ahead and go into holdings, which is basically if we went into our dashboard and just went into our holdings from there. So here we can actually see quite a bit of more, more information here. We can see our accounts. So this is just my non-retirement account. So my current day value change is down $111. My unrealized gain and loss is up 5.48%, which is very nice for the last 3 months. I can see here that my events for my top holdings, I have Colgate, which is coming up on dividend X date on the 20th at 40 cents per share. So it's 2 days out. Let's see, Reuters consensus price for Pfizer forecasts a gain of 5.12%, a range of $31 to probably a little bit more than that. And you can click on all the events, which I'll show in just a second here. So Merrill Edge, if your non-invested money, so I have $26.30 that's non-invested in my account right now. They invest it for you in a money market account, so it earns 0.14% interest while you're not investing it in the stock market. So any money that's held on for the side as cash for 24 hours automatically gets invested in your money market account. You can still use it for investing in the stock market, but if you're not using it, it's just in this account that gets 0.14% interest per month. It's actually not per month, it's per year, but if you divide that by 12, so it earns 0.14% interest by 12, so you would basically multiply whatever cash in your account by 0.011. So basically for every $100 you would get a cent in just interest for holding it in there. And some investors, they like to hold some money on hand, so that would be one way of just getting some interest off the money that you're not really invested in. And then I do currently have my current holdings here. You can see quantity, price change, the value, the day change, the unrealized gain and loss, the unit cost basis, the last update. And you can actually adjust these here, which is much different than what you can actually do on Robinhood. Again, you can't just quickly click one button, to rearrange the order of your stocks. So that's something that's really interesting. If you're looking, okay, where am I down the most? Okay, I am down $93 in Pepsi, $29 in Realty Income. So I could definitely invest some of my leftover money in Pepsi if I'm able to buy a share at $112. I would actually be able to average down. I would bring my unrealized loss up or down, one of those ways. So I'm only down in 5 stocks, and these vary. Pepsi, I was down $200 just a few weeks ago. So these stocks vary. Plus, they get paid dividends, so not too worried. Let's see here. So what else is in here? This goes back to our accounts. So here we can see our balances. I do have pending activity, so this is dividend that's coming in, $14.42. Once that comes in, it'll start tracking my yearly interest and dividend income. It'll tell me what my dividend interest and dividend income is, my tax-exempt interest, my taxable interest, and so on. Just lots of information. My unrealized gain and loss. Again, back to events and top holdings. And then yearly realized gain and loss. But so here we can click on activity. Okay, these are just my transfers in. I did have a $75 charge from Robinhood to transfer over to Merrill Edge, but I already talked with Merrill Edge and they're going to be refunding me that $75. So they have really good customer service, and they were able to refund that back to me, and I'll showcase that here in an upcoming video. So if I go back to my holdings and click on view all events, this is where it's really nice. So all of your stocks here, every single one of your stocks, you can see information pertaining to that specific stock. So you can see AbbVie reached a new high, ADP has a brand new research for ADP, Colgate has the next dividend coming up, Costco, its price crossed above its 50-day moving average. Cisco, there's a new report for Cisco. CenturyLink, it's crossed above its 50-day moving average. EPR paid a regular dividend of 34 cents per share, so that's probably the money that's coming into my account. Ford has the next dividend coming up on the 20th. Microsoft, there's a new report. Pfizer forecast gains. So every day they have some very useful information. Verizon price crossed its 50-day moving average price, so very nice for Verizon, Exxon, and so on. So some of these have a little bit more information indicated by the little circular symbols there. So here, CenturyLink. Okay, same information here, just a little bit updated. This is updated today, and so on. So that's pretty interesting. So that is it for this video. Hopefully you have found that kind of interesting. I think there's a lot of information inside of this application, and it'll definitely be nice to kind of use something that's a bit higher grade than Robinhood. So that is it for this video. If you have any questions on the Merrill Edge application, go ahead and leave that in the comments below. If I can find out anything about your question, I will definitely answer it. And that is it. If you just want to say hello, also leave that in the comments below. Thanks for tuning in, and I will see you next time. Bye.